All right, so in terms of value statements then that somebody might make above that basic assumption, when they espouse those values, they might have certain statements they make. One of the places you might see this is when you go to a nuclear facility, you'll see posters on the walls, you'll see email messages that the management sends out. Those are essentially our value statements. It's the management and the leadership trying to communicate to all of the personnel, as well as, in fact, the visitors and regulators that come into the facility, about what is important to them, what values they espouse. And those might be things like, you might see security is the responsibility of every person in the organization. You might see a version of that on a poster. Or all employees have a duty to challenge and question and report security issues. That ongoing and effective security training is essential. So it must be kept up to date, and its effectiveness must be checked out frequently. Let's pause on that for a second, because most of us have that experience. Most of us who have worked in facilities, we have a training regiment that we have to follow, and the management has decided, here's the regiment, here's the training we need, here's how often we need to update it. It's important for us to realize that when we get to the point where we need to update our training, and we're getting to a due date for that, it's important for us to say, we need to do that. I need to do that training. It's not just a hassle that I need to take care of. It's something I need to take care of because it's important that I stay up to date on these. Otherwise, I put my facility and my colleagues and other personnel in that facility at risk. And then, of course, you might hear things like teamwork is critical. It's critically important when resolving security matters, that we work as a team. Those are all value statements that an organization might put out. Those are all based on simple principles that guide our decisions, and we went through these previously, but things like the leadership commitment to nuclear security. And those principles then can impact our overall behaviors. So some examples of those principles would be like independent oversight strengthens security. So that's a principle that we might believe in, and that we might espouse that particular value to all the employees. The resulting behavior we're looking for is to have an effective and integrated oversight process where we bring in regulatory oversight, and through that process, we believe that process is going to make the overall security and the overall operation of this facility better. So to give you an example, most of us have seen this version as well, where we have a regulator who comes into our facility to regulate that facility. And you, of course, prepare for that regulator to come, and you put together all of the information you need and things like that. Whenever that's happening, do you take that regulatory process seriously? Do you think about, oh, I'm not just trying to get past this and get the check mark, but I'm really taking seriously the information I'm projecting to that regulator and the information they're projecting back. What they're telling me in terms of, hey, here's improvements that you can make. Do I think about those improvements from a standpoint of how I could make my overall security system better and really appreciate that overall process? Or am I just doing it just to get a passing grade and go on with my life? Right principle then will have the right behavior associated with that. So another principle might be to have a strong security culture, our organization must value learning. If that's the case, then the resulting behavior you'll see is where our management structure will engage in continual learning with our employees and provide the resources to ensure that that's true. So if you work at a facility and you see that there's a certain course or a training or a workshop that would really benefit you in the overall security of your organization, if your management espouses that as an important value, that principle, then your management should resource that. They should say, yes, I want to give you the, let's say, money it might take for you to register for the workshop, or maybe the release time you need to learn that. So if they truly believe that that is one of their espoused values, then the resulting behavior is that they're going to resource that. And they're going to provide it so that you're then going to develop that. And of course, by doing that, you're going to then provide a stronger security culture.